Let's get salty!
Everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video, and we are just 1 day away from the release of The Great Dark Beyond, and there's a little bit of worrying. There's a little bit of discussion that's been going on for quite some time. If you see here, the past month, one of the most upvoted things on Reddit, besides, edging a crystal apparently, is discussing me watching my opponent build a Starship ball game, and we have this guy here, Reno Lone Ranger. And I think there is some validity to the concerns that, yeah, there are some cards out there that might really ruin the fun, at least that exist already. We might have some cards that ruin the fun that come out day one. And we're going to talk about that. Are these concerns have merit? Am I concerned about it? And yeah, we'll go through all of that. And today is also the last day to enter our giveaway. We're giving away 3 rewards tracks or Tavern passes out of my pocket to enter that giveaway. Like and comment in the video, link down description below, the one with that thumbnail over there. If we somehow hit like 900 more subscribers by tomorrow, we'll add another Tavern pass to that giveaway. So hit that sub button, make me go broke. So there's a lot of concerns about the new Starship mechanic. You play your Starship pieces, you acquire and get this huge dormant pod of a Starship and have legendaries to pay it off and do really cool stuff. But there is only one way of counterplay to that. And this guy, Reno Lone Ranger, where it's been gone through some stuff, started at 8, it's now 10, text rework it all. If your deck started with no duplicates, empty the enemy's board and limit it to 1 space per turn. Effectively, it clears everything in the game. Everything, including a Starship. And the whole central focus for this expansion, besides the new Draenei tribe, which, is just a tribe, you play the cards or whatever, are these Starships. And the problem people are really worried about is you play that new fun archetype, you're just going to get countered by Reno. And if you take a look at HS Replay, this is where I'm a little less concerned. But again, I guess I'm looking more from a performance issue. If you look at the top performing decks in Standard as of now, right now, there really aren't that many highlighter decks super present. You do have Highlighter Shaman, which is certainly a Reno deck, of course. You have, I think, Highlander Deathlight around 50%. I don't think they'll be playing Highlander next set, but you could try to do a Highlander deck with a lot of the good Death Knight cards. And then you got Druid not doing very good. I think Warrior's always near the bottom. The issue is, it's not necessarily about like, oh, these decks aren't that great. It's not that big a deal, because if you look at popularity, and I don't know why right now it's categorized as other Warrior, but Reno Warrior is the second most popular deck in the game across like every rank bracket. It's pretty crazy how popular it is, despite the fact we showed like 43% win rate. Not only was there like a free new and returning deck which had Reno Warrior available, but it just seems to be something people really like to play. And if that persists and that popularity remains, even though it's not a good deck, at least statistically, if you want to climb with, you're going to hear a lot of complaints about that. And yeah, the Starships are going to be really prone to that. But the thing that's been really nice about this guy is he's not in the current like early access Tavern Brawl, which has led to other problems, which has led to like, all of a sudden, if you don't have this card in check, we have Ziliax, right? Ziliax is the absolute dominant force in that brawl because you have no way to really remove it or punish it. All the punishes are gone. Yogg, which just got nerfed, Reska to like steal it, to get Amanthul as well as a way of poofing it, that sometimes you need those checks and balances in the game, right? There's a reason some stuff has a counter. And to me, if Starships have the counter of Reno, which is in very badly performing decks, it is popular, but not to the extent that it's like meta dominant, that I don't know if there's a huge issue with it. Like, should Starships have no counter? What if there were no counter and Starships are insane? Everyone's gonna be complaining that everyone's always just about who can build their big Starship first and then click the button and win, right? You gotta think both sides of that, because right now the Tavern Brawl is really frustrating when you just face Ziliax over and over and you have no real good answer to it, other than, I think Shaman's got one of the best Wave of Nostalgia to like transform the mechs and Ziliax, but it is that interesting thing. But there are some cards I am worried about. Like, yeah, Yogg still is pretty incredible. Can punish and steal that Starship. To me, the bigger concern is Big Spell Mage, enabled by Portal Mancer Skyla. She's been nerfed. They've already nerfed Tsunami, nerfed Surflipod, and it is still the best performing deck at high ranks across all ranks. Again, if you look at HS replay, you look at the win rates, Mage is still the top. And I'm almost concerned that when the expansion comes out, Big Spell Mage is still going to dominate because it's been nerfed technically in 3 separate patches. It's still dominant. And it's probably going to, you know, some of the new cards get slotted there. That to me is a bigger concern that somehow since the mini sets come out, we've only had Mage as the dominant force. And of course, you know I'm going to mention this. What good is a Starship deck where you got to build up your big Starship, maybe Exodar it on turn 8 or whatever? When your opponent, you face Rogue, if this card is as good as it can be, which in theory crafting it looked pretty scary, but theory crafting it's really slow, very, you know, you could definitely bully people with a Quazar style of card. But if this card is good and is meta like dominant, it's all going to be about, can I kill them before they Quazar, which would eliminate, you know, trying to do your whole Starship strategy, try to, you know, stop the you know, play your Velen, your Draenei strategy. And there's another card that can enable the same thing in Rogue, Pressure Points, where you discount like combo cards like Eviscerate or Old Manager or whatever, make them 1, and then Sonya basically does infinite damage because they're 1 mana, you get another 0 mana copy. There's also that problem, like 2 Rogue archetypes alone could absolutely eliminate any slower decks if they're super fast and able to kill from in hand. There's a lot of like just weirdness going on where we have an expansion that's really about promoting building cool starships, try to play for board, seems to be more board centric, and then they print cards like Quazar, they print cards like Pressure Points, and again, we still have cards that really punish the board, right? Like Reno, Yogg, we got the Reskas of the world too. A Reska is another card that really punishes you for playing for board. That I'm really curious to see how it plays out. I'm not trying to doom call with this video or anything like that, but I do want to bring up concerns that I could see happening early on in the meta, and if it does, I really hope Blizzard has a short leash for these type of cards. I hope if Quazar is like a very strong card that is kind of dictating the meta where you have to kill them fast, that's eliminated. That if Reno persists to be super popular and just frustrates people to the point they can't play their Starships, maybe Reno needs another change. And you know, I'm more of an advocate for cards like that, but at the end of the day, if it's destroying a mechanic that they're trying to promote that looks really cool that I want to play, maybe it's something they need to do, or leave it as that counter. I just hope that we don't have basically since the mini set, a patch cycle where they barely touch stuff like the Big Spell Mage, and we did get one bigger patch later, but it came so much later and still didn't properly address Big Spell Mage that we're left with like a really stagnant meta where we want to play Starships, we want to play cool new Draenei, and cards like this may make it impossible. It's a possibility, and I just hope they're aware that maybe this expansion have a shorter leash for cards that have already shown to be really problematic. I know they already nerfed Yogg to 10, but it's something to consider because tomorrow I'm really hoping when I stream, which we will be streaming at launch, that I'm not just dying super early or losing to the same old things when I'm trying to do some new cool stuff, because yeah, Starships look really rad. This expansion is one of the coolest we've seen in a very long time. I just hope it's not dominated by certain things like this. So let me know in the comments down below. Do you think there's validity to these concerns? Do you think Reno should be a counter to all this? Do you think Quazar is the latest concierge, although concierge did get nerfed, so it wasn't so much unnecessary doom calling, it was kind of true. But regardless, is it gonna happen again, or are we gonna have fun launching Starships and everything's gonna be amazing? And yeah, it never works out that way because I will complain no matter what if I know how to do anything. Anyways, yeah, tune in tomorrow. We will have day 1 decks to try out, and then we're off to the races. We'll see how the expansion goes. Day 1 patch review. We'll have the best decks. We'll have crafting guides, all sorts of great stuff throughout the week. So stay tuned for that. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day and stay salty, my friends.